Hey guys, what's up? Jody here in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico at my home office, and today I wanted to share with you some of the skills that I've learned over the last 10 months since getting together with an incredible community and a leadership factory, actually more like a movement. It's more like a movement of entrepreneurs that are creating, like I said before, a leadership factory. We are a bunch of entrepreneurs that create leaders, that encourage and build up leaders so they can go on and fulfill their own lives, their own purpose, their own passions. And it's really purposeful work when you're working with people that are there to uplift and elevate others. But today I want to share with you the skills that I had before I got involved and the skills that I have now just 10 months later. So 10 months ago, I was a stewardess working on a private yacht. But my skills prior to that were hairdressing. I've been a hairdresser since pretty much leaving school. Out of school, I became a hairdresser. I trained for 3 years, and then I had my own business. I've traveled doing hair, and I've done hair all over. I can take it with me anywhere. That's one of the reasons why I chose to do it, because it gave me freedom to do it wherever I go. And after hairdressing, on cruise ships, actually, when I was traveling doing hair on cruise ships, I met my husband. Then from the cruise ships, I moved to South Africa where I had my own business. And from there on, it's a long story. If you've listened to my story, you know my story. I'll share that with you in another video. But we were in $40,000 worth of debt in South Africa. After 2.5 years of having our own business, we ended up in $40,000 worth of debt. And we made the decision to move out onto private yachts where we could earn that money back and pay off that debt, which we did, which I'm thankful for. Yet after 5 years of working in the yachting industry as a stewardess, my skills then, were in service, housekeeping, but pretty much, now this is no detriment to anybody that's in the hairdressing industry or the yachting industry. If you're doing what you love, I feel that's absolutely fantastic. As long as you are doing what you love and you're passionate about what you're doing, then you're on the right path. But for me, I wasn't. I was searching for freedom in all of these occupations, yet I never really found it. And I think maybe because I was looking outside of myself for the freedom, yet it wasn't until I left all of those things that I was trying to get the freedom from that I actually found freedom within. And so whilst working on the yacht, I started to feel really stifled and stuck, and I just really felt like there was a bigger purpose for my life, that there was more to just getting up and ironing and cleaning, and all those things need to be done, and it's certainly a job, and that's needed, but it just wasn't for me. And so I went in search of finding that freedom. I knew that I had a bigger purpose, that I wanted to do something. I had ideas. I have a huge interest and passion in photography. I'm very creative in a lot of things that I do. I have a creative eye, and I think that's where the hairdressing came in. I could be creative. Even yachting, getting creative with table settings and cocktails, and it had a creative element to it. So everything that I've done has kind of led to being creative, and so that's a huge part of me, and something that I want to pursue. So like I said, after 5 years in the yachting industry, I needed something more. And it was difficult, because working on the yacht with my husband, away from family, we have family in the UK, we have family in South Africa, we have family in Australia, New Zealand, the United States. We have family all over, but we are right now in Mexico. And I'm in Mexico purely because the yacht that I left in January, my husband Nick still is the first officer on that yacht, and he does an incredible job. He really does. He has a very important and incredible job. And I respect him and admire him for everything that he does. And so it was very difficult for me to make that decision to leave, because I was not only leaving my job, I was also leaving my husband behind. Now, we're still together, we're still married, we're not separated, but it was a really hard decision because I wasn't finding any joy, I wasn't finding any happiness. And so when I made the decision to leave, it was a really tough one to make. But I knew in my heart of hearts that it was something that I had to do, and I wanted to kind of leave for a year or two before that, but it just wasn't the right time. And the universe reminded me of that too. There's many synchronistic moments that happened during that time that showed me that it wasn't the right time to leave. And so when it came to finishing paying off our house, actually, we had bought a house in South Africa, and we would come to finishing paying off our house because we literally put all of our salary in at the end of every month to pay off our house. And that was my husband's wishes. You know, he's very disciplined like that. He's incredible like that. And so within literally less than a year and a half, we had paid off a house in South Africa, which is, you know, a huge achievement, and a relief. You know, we have property, we have an investment. And so after that was paid off in January last year, I really felt the pull and the need to find what I was supposed to be doing. And so after that happened, I started to do some research. What did I want to do? I had a huge interest in yoga and nutrition, and I started to pursue that avenue. Now, granted, I have all these other skills, but you know, I was going into I was actually heading into my 30s at the time, and I really wanted to be the healthiest, happiest person I could be in preparation for becoming a mother, you know, to providing a good start in life for you know, for reproducing for our children. Now, I'm not pregnant, I'm not having babies just yet, but I knew it was a transformation that I wanted to make in my life, in my body. I became a vegetarian. I started practicing yoga, meditation. I started really looking into nutrition and what I was putting in my body, what I was putting on my body. I was really starting to go through some life changes. And then I turned 30, and I decided to look online to find a way to implement that into my life on a more permanent basis. Now, it was very difficult on the yacht because although it sounds very glamorous, and I was very grateful, we have a chef on board that prepares your meals, but when you're a vegetarian, it can be a little bit difficult when you're trying to cook for 9 people. And so while I appreciate and respect the chef's efforts into trying to provide for us all, it's a difficult task, I know, yet it just wasn't beneficial to my health anymore, and I just felt really stuck. And so that was one of the other reasons why I wanted to leave the boat, is so that I could take control of my health, take control of what I eat, take control of most of my life, really. Because when you work for somebody else, really, they kind of have you by the balls, right? Let's be fair, they kind of have you by the balls. They tell you when you can eat, when you can start work, when you can leave work, how much you're going to get paid, and pretty much when you can go to the bathroom too. So for me, it was kind of breaking free from that. I'm quite a free spirit anyway, so to put me in that kind of environment, I was very surprised that I lasted 5 years. But I had a goal, and I had a vision, and that's what kept me going. And so getting back to what I've learned over the last 10 months, like, you know, now the skills that I went into, entrepreneurship, I was looking to go into health and nutrition, and started to look online, and actually started blogging. I started blogging about the transformations and the changes that were happening in my life. And you know, it was a big thing for me to start a blog because I didn't really see myself as a writer, and you know, although I'm creative, I didn't see that side of it, although I had an interest. I just didn't see that side of it. I didn't see that in me. But I started anyway, and I started just with a free WordPress blog site, and I started to meet other bloggers. And one day somebody liked my blog, and I checked out their blog, and it was how to make money blogging. And I was like, if I can learn how to make money blogging, I could actually do it from wherever I am, and I can be in a place where I can eat what I want to eat, when I want to eat it, and have a lot more freedom over my lifestyle, more so than I had on the yacht. And so I started to look into this a little bit more, and then that alarm went off, like, oh, this is too good to be true. I don't think, it sounds too good to be true, this can't be right. Anyway, I kept looking into it, and the community that I had found through this blog would have a weekly hangout every week on a Wednesday, and so I would jump on the hangout and listen to everybody's stories and what everybody was doing, and still there was that little voice in the back of my head, like, who are these actors and actresses? What do they want from me? And I really looked at it with a negative mindset, and with a mindset of lack, really, that I didn't have the ability or the capacity to build or create a business or an income from my skills. On the internet, even though I was able to do it physically in life, on the internet was a whole different story. And so, lo and behold, I decided to throw caution to the wind and meet these people in person and figure out exactly what it is that they were doing. And so this was in August last year, and it was coming up for my 30th birthday. And in October they were having a 3-day event in Anaheim, California. Now we're in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I'm still on the yacht at this time. And I just made the decision that I needed to go to that event. And it was kind of last minute. I had to get permission from the captains to take vacation. And then it was obviously dipping into, our vacation that my husband and I would share together, that we'd normally go to South Africa and, for 6 weeks. And so I was, tapping into that vacation time. Yet something inside of me just knew that I had to go. I knew that I had to figure it out. I'd already invested some money in some of the trainings, the blogging platform, which is incredible, and very, very easy and simple to use. Far easier, I found, than actually WordPress, because it took me so long to figure out WordPress, and yet here was a blog that I could just literally go in and type whatever I wanted to write, add a picture, and pretty much everything else was done for me. And I could customize it a little bit, but I mean, really, pretty blogs are not the be-all and end-all. It's the content that matters. And so I had a lot to learn about blogging, and so I started this blog, and so I'd invested in my education a little bit with the blogging platform. And another product that we have is the Inner Circle Audios, which I promise you had me breaking down in tears on some days, that it hit me right between the eyes, or it hit me right in the heart, and just spoke straight to me, spoke the messages that I needed to hear to make a shift, to make a change in my life. And Tracy Walker, one of her Inner Circles, and the Wake Up Now, yeah, she really got me. She really got me. And really made me, just shifted my perception. So from a negative mindset to more of a positive mindset. Because, what we think about, we bring about. We attract into our lives whatever we think about. And I was attracting a lot of negative stuff before in my life, because I was noticing becoming distant between the people that I worked with. And I was just, I was really getting negative and depressed. And it just really wasn't nice to be around. And that's, another reason why I guess I knew I needed to make the change. And so having those products I knew, and having that access to positive mindset and information and an incredible, easy to use blogging platform, I knew that I was missing something. And so I went to Anaheim, California, to a 3-day event titled Fight the Forces of Evil, which, for some people they might think, oh my gosh, this is the devil, right? Anyway, it's not. Fight the Forces of Evil is basically fighting the negative within you, really, and shining your light and becoming the best version of yourself that you can be, so that you can be a better human on this planet, not only for yourself, but for others too. That's my definition of Fight the Forces of Evil. Many people may have different definitions. As you know, we all have different ways of analyzing things and our perception. And so I get to the event, and I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea what to expect. I'd never been to a business or a personal development event before in my life. I didn't really know what I was going for. I was just really going to see what it was all about. And I didn't really know or what to expect from this event, or what to do at the event, or how to act, or who to talk to, how to be. I had no idea. But I connected with a few people, and we shared a house. And I met up with one guy, and we were chatting, and we were up until 3 a.m. watching videos of Tony Robbins and some people that he interviewed. And it was really, really incredible. Just opened my mind, this personal development. And it took me back to before I got into yachting in South Africa. I started to read some personal development books. My very first book actually was The Alchemist, and that really shifted things for me. And then How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Through a family friend. We were house sitting his house, and he had that book, and I started to read that book. And then I would read Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Richard Branson's Screw It, Let's Do It, and even Robert Kiyosaki's wife, Kim Kiyosaki, she has one called Rich Woman. And that really helped me to realize that I am responsible for myself, my finances. You know, some women, when they get married, they leave all the finances up to the husband, and then he might leave you for a younger model later on in life. Well, that's the scenario she explained in the book of something that happened. I don't feel that would ever happen to me. Just be aware. Just be aware and be responsible for your own life, your own finances. And it was really incredible to go through those books. Another couple of books that I read were Who Moved My Cheese, which is a really good book, which I will definitely share with my kids one day. And it's really easy and fun to read. You can read it in an hour. It's really short. What other books did I read? There's another book. Oh, it escapes my mind right now, the other book that I was reading. But they all made an impact in my life, yet after being on the yacht for 5 years, I'd kind of forgotten all of that. And so I was at the start again in my personal development. And so being at this event, I was surrounded by, and I could feel it in my body, okay? I could really feel it in my body. I arrived there, registered, seeing all these people. Some I had seen online, some I had spoken to online, but I was now meeting them in the flesh. They were real people, no longer just people that maybe, are you real, are you honest, like on the internet. These are real people. And I got connected with them, chatting with them, and built relationships with them, heard their stories, their life stories, and how they eventually ended up in the same space that I was in right there and then. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. It blew me away. I couldn't have been prepared for what I experienced if I even tried. But all I knew is that I cried every day at that event. Of course, there was personal development and motivational speaking. But you know, the only reason you resist that is because you're afraid of yourself. You're afraid of being yourself. That is why we resist personal development, because we're afraid of what people might think of us when we actually be ourselves, instead of being a visual of what society thinks we should be. And this was a huge breakthrough for me. I really had that feeling, like I felt I went there with the whole weight of the world on my shoulders. And after that 3-day event, I felt the lightest I've ever been. I came out of that event, had such an aha moment that my shoulders just relaxed, and I had nothing else in me but to follow what was about to unfold. And I didn't even realize. I just acted. I didn't even think. I just acted. It was like a magnetic force, like literally pulling me into the direction that I needed to go. And some people might think, oh, that's crazy talk, but that's exactly what I felt. I cried for 3 days with 1,500 strangers at that time that are now what I class as like my online family, okay? And I came out of that event knowing that this is the exact vehicle that was going to help me figure out my purpose. The exact vehicle that was going to help me figure out my purpose. And the only way I would fail is if I gave up. There was too much evidence right there in front of me on all different levels, all different stages of skill, that by following this path, I would find my purpose. There was too much evidence that was a perfect vehicle in order for me to find it. And so I came back from that event, back to the boat, and I truly was not the same person. I came back and I knew that leaving the boat was my only option to move forward. You see, I'd become really comfortable on that boat. Although I was miserable, I became comfortable with my income. As long as I was earning an income, it didn't matter if I was happy or not. But there was something inside of me that told me it does matter if I'm happy or not. And this is not the only way to make money. And so it was really hard then to come and make the decision to leave the boat, knowing that Nick would stay behind on the boat. Anyway, we discussed it. And now, 10 months later, I have developed skills that I didn't have 10 months ago. I feel so much more in tune with my purpose. I discovered my purpose. I'm on the path to creating the exact vehicle that I'm going to walk my purpose with, okay? I have an incredible community, a supportive community, of people that I absolutely love dearly. I've made it to every event but one since Anaheim, and I regret not going to that one from fear of what I might have missed out on learning. And I live here in Mexico in my own apartment, which I absolutely love. I'm surrounded by all my books. I just recently completed my 200-hour yoga teacher training and have the world of opportunities before me. I spend my days doing yoga. I can see the ocean right from my balcony. I can walk down to the beach every day. My fridge is filled with healthy, organic produce. I feel fulfilled in my health. I practice yoga every morning. I'm probably repeating myself here, but those skills have allowed me to follow my purpose. And I've learned skills. I've learned how to blog. I've learned how to build a blog from scratch. I've learned how to build my own belief system, because truly that's what holds people back. I mean, everybody has an idea. Everybody has dreams. We may suffocate them because we don't feel we can achieve them, but everybody has ideas. Everybody has dreams. There's not one thing on this planet that has been invented or created that did not come from an idea. And only when that idea manifested into reality do you actually have the benefit of using it now, like the internet, like computers, like cameras, like iPhones, like books, you know, who decided to write a book and sell it, you know, like all of these things we can utilize today. These are resources that we have, and many influential people lead the way in showing us that whatever we want in life, as long as we're prepared to go after it and not give up, we can have it. We can have it. And it's the lack of belief in yourself, being able to achieve it, that stops you from achieving it. Because like I said before, the only reason you fail is because you give up. You give up on your dreams, you give up on your ideas, and then somebody else comes and, you know, maybe has a similar idea, and you're like, oh, I had that idea, but you didn't do anything about it. You didn't do anything about it. And for me, I know I can make a difference. After coming out of the yoga teacher training, I realized that I really want to go into yoga therapy. And I just went through, actually yesterday I went through a visualization process, which I'll share with you in another video, that just blew my mind. And if you're a visual person, because some of us are visual, some of us are not visual, but if you're a visual person, it's powerful. It's really powerful. So I'm going to share it in another video for those visual learners. But I went through a visual process that actually visually showed me the evolution of my purpose, okay? And how all the skills that I've learned over the last 10 months have led me to this, and will carry me through this too. I mean, my learning doesn't stop now. Our learning never stops. It's a lifetime of learning. But it's up to you to choose what you want to learn. It's up to you to choose what you want to put inside your brain, and what you want to put out into the world, and what you want to pass on to your children, what you want to pass on to your community. It's entirely up to you. It's a choice. We are not bound by society. We are not bound by all our circumstances. We have a choice in what we want to do. And so I chose to go into, like I said, health and nutrition, and I knew I was supposed to help people in some way, and I attract people into my life that are maybe physically or emotionally stressed or depressed. And I never really saw myself as physically or emotionally depressed, but maybe I was. Maybe that's why I was attracting people like that into my life. But it was a sign. It was a sign from the universe that that is my path, is to help others to find freedom. To find freedom within themselves, and to find freedom within their finances. And I truly and honestly believe that I have that in my hands. That this is what I am molding and creating right now. And it's ever since I started to get grateful that things really became more apparent to me. And I used to try gratitude, like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, but you can say the words and not mean them, and they do nothing. It's mindless thank yous. When you put your heart and your soul into your thank yous and your gratitude, it changes things. It truly changes things. One of the tools that I use is this book called The Magic. I was introduced to this book through a mentor of mine, and one of his requirements for working with him in a private mentor program was to read this book every day, first thing in the morning. Read it every morning. Now it's a 28-day, basically, gratitude challenge, really. But what I found is that it made me so grateful for the things that I've had in my life, for the things that I have in my life, and for the things that I want in my life, before I even have them. Really, truly shifted my perspective, shifted the way I look at my relationships, shifted the way I view myself, shifted so much that I'm so grateful for this book. I'm truly grateful for this book. It has changed my life. Another book that I've read that has made a huge impact in my life is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, some might look at this book and think, oh, Think and Grow Rich, this is a get rich quick, how to get rich book. When actually it's 13 principles of wealth. And the very last principle is money. Is money. Because that is the last of all riches. You know, riches come in the form of your relationships, your personal development, how you feel about yourself, what you give to your community. Tons and tons of information in here that will shift your perception into being the person that you need to be in order to achieve the results that you want to have. And my mentor actually, one thing that always sticks out to me that he always says is that you don't get what you want, you get who you are. And every time I read these personal development books, that comes through time and time and time and time again. Everybody's looking outside of themselves to achieve something, yet it is absolutely 100% within you. And so going back to, I know I'm wishy-washy here, I'm going back and forwards, that's just how my brain works, you know, it's kind of a little bit everywhere, but it's like an organized mess, you know, it's kind of like an organized mess. It kind of sums me up, really. Though a lot of the skills that I've learned is how to network with people, how to become a leader, how to share my story, you know. In January, I'd never made a video before. And now this is probably one of my 100th videos because I forced myself into doing a video challenge with a group of 50 people where we produce 2 videos a day. Now, I've spoken to some people that are like, I could never do that. I could never do that. Right off the bat, I could never do that. But the thing is that they didn't really have a goal. They didn't have a why. Why do you need to develop these skills? What is it going to get you? What are you going to be able to do when you have those skills? And so I knew what I was going to be able to do, the impact on people's lives that I would be able to have if I just faced that fear and made the damn video. And so at first, when I look back at my videos now, oh my goodness, like 1,000 takes, and I still didn't want to post it. And so I made these videos, and in the end I would get so frustrated that I would just be like, okay, that will do. Like, I didn't even have my words figured out or really had the message that I wanted to speak, but it all comes. Like now, I'm sure you're picking up whatever you need to pick up from this video, and you'll let go of the rest. You'll pick up what you need to hear. It's synchronicity. And that's one of the things, actually it's one of the books that just actually took me to, had a little brain fart there, and just took me to this book that I've just started reading on synchronicity, which just shows us that there are signs all around us. Even like when you, like over the last few weeks, every time I would pick up my phone, I would notice that it would be, the time would be 11:11 or 15:15, or those were the 2 main ones. The other, none of the others really stick. Oh, 3:33, like 3:33. And so all these things have meaning, and when you're actually conscious and aware of the universe sending you signs, and you actually research them, it's quite powerful. You feel quite connected and on the right path. And they warn you too. They're warning signs too. They're not signs that you're just on the right path. They're signs that you're going down a wrong path, buddy. And best you wake up and make some changes now before you manifest some things you don't really want to manifest. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Back to the skills that I have learned over the last 10 months. Okay, I'm going to try and stay on course here. So like I said, I learned how to set up a blog from scratch. I learned how to better construct my blog posts. I learned how to be more confident and dynamic on video. I learned how to create an autoresponder, how to set up follow-up emails. I learned how to network with people, you know, how to ask questions, how to be coachable. That is so important, to be coachable. In the beginning, I would come in, I would listen, and I'd be like, okay, that can't be right. And then I'd go and do my own thing. And you know what? I never had any success. I was stuck. I kept hitting that brick wall because I wasn't coachable. Learning how to become coachable is also a skill. It's also a skill. It's being vulnerable and, you know, being open to the fact that you don't know everything and that you could learn something here. If you just put your ego aside, you could learn something here that will actually get you to where you want to go. Make any sense? Anyway, I learned how to host a webinar, how to set up a webinar, how to create a presentation, how to host coaching calls, you know, how to coach others into doing what I'm doing too. Because not only does this benefit me, but I have the opportunity to build a team that I can also teach these principles and these skills to as well, that can also build their own teams and free themselves from the 9-to-5 rat race. Free themselves, go after their dreams, build their dreams, change their lives, change their families' lives. And they can do it too, and that's one of the aspects for me that really drew me into this community, this leadership factory, is that you're not dealing with, you know, the average Joe. Now, if you're watching this, you're not the average Joe, because you have something inside of you that desires something else, and that is your natural calling. You are not here by accident. You are not watching this video by accident, especially if you've been sitting here for 37 minutes. And so you're not here by accident. You're here because you are finding some value in what I'm saying. And you can see that I'm a real person and that I'm sharing my heart here, even if it is a little bit scattered. Right? I'm sharing my experience, my value. I have nothing to gain from you watching this video. I only have the opportunity to inspire you to go after what your dreams are, to find your purpose. And so, you know, just to go back to the yachting and the jobs before that I had compared to what I'm doing now. Now, I hate to compare things because everything is relative, and those things were relative to me at that time. I had things to learn at that time, and it was a part of my journey. But in hindsight now, I see when I was working for somebody else, I was really helping them build their dreams. And in return, I was giving up mine. And sometimes we spend our entire lives, I spent 10 years working for somebody else's dream. Until I made the decision. To some, it's a very scary decision. But when you have that belief and that faith and that ability in yourself, that you can create whatever it is that you want to create, there'll be nothing stopping you going after your own dream. Like I said, yesterday I hit a wall. I was like, oh my goodness, what do you want me to do? I just felt overwhelmed with so many opportunities. You know, I have so many opportunities that sometimes, for a scatterbrain like me, can be like, you probably heard of the term shiny ball syndrome. That was me. That was me. Oh, yeah, this is what I want to do. Oh, that is what I want to do. The ability to focus. I've been listening to Brian Tracy for this past week on the art of discipline. Okay, the art of discipline. And I haven't read it yet, but I know Napoleon Hill's, and the book he wrote after this, The Master Key to Riches, because Brian Tracy talks about it in his book. At the very end of the book says, the number one key to riches is discipline. And so I've been listening to that for the last week. and really have just been able to implement some of those principles. I have a schedule now, a daily schedule. That might sound boring to some, but these are schedules of things that I really want to do, that I actually enjoy, that sometimes life, and there are going to be distractions in your life that will try and take you away from what you want to do, from what you need to do to get the result that you want. There are going to be distractions like Facebook and, you know, the universe, you know, everybody calling you, oh, do you want to come do this, do that, do this, do that, and you'll want to go do it. But you have to discipline yourself to do what it takes now so that you can live that life of abundance for the rest of your life to come. Not only for you, but for you and your family. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm here in my apartment, I look out at the ocean, I sit here and I create, I mastermind, I pour my heart out into my work. I sometimes get distracted and then I just come back to, but I'm aware of it. That's the thing. If you're aware of it, you can catch it. And only when you're aware of it can you change it. And so that's an important key to remember. When you're aware of it, you can change it. And so how I see myself now, I see myself living a healthy lifestyle. Every day I wake up, I'm doing something that I love. I'm putting my heart and soul, my blood, sweat and tears into creating something I love, not only for me, not only that's going to benefit me and my family, but those in my team, the family of my team, and on a bigger scale, a bigger community, the world. That's the beauty of the internet, is that you're not limited to your physical community. The entire universe, the entire world is your community. And you know, when I connect every 90 days with my online family, wherever it takes me to travel many areas of the States. This year alone, since leaving the boat, I have traveled to the UK, to South Africa, to Miami, to Seattle, to Charlotte, North Carolina, and now I'm living in Mexico. And in October I'll be in Orlando. And so it takes me to some beautiful places. It takes me and connects me with some beautiful people. And really, I just wanted to share it with you. This video went on a lot longer than I anticipated, but I just rolled with it. I just speak from my heart. There's no script. I just speak from my heart. Whatever comes out, whatever comes through me from all the things that I've learned. But if there's one thing that I've learned, is that anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. If you want to. You have to want to. You have to want to. And the only thing that will hold you back is not having the skills. The only difference between where you are right now and where I am right now is that I know a little bit more about what I'm doing than what you do. But there's absolutely nothing that you cannot learn. If I have learned this amount in 10 months, think about what you can learn in 10 months from now. And so I hope you gained some value from this video. It's been an absolute pleasure just sharing all of that with you. I am a real person, as you see. I am on Facebook. You can connect with me through my blog, jodiritchie.com. You can connect with me on Facebook, Jodi Ritchie. I'll be the one doing yoga poses, probably, as I just finished my yoga teacher training. And so that's like yoga every damn day. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to connect with you. No idea is too big or too small. Share it. I will do my absolute best to help you turn that idea, that dream, into a reality. And so please don't hesitate to connect. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you on the next video. Go out there and create your life.